Yes. Ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chasdecha, ahavo vetecha, Eshtacha ve'el hechal kodshecha, ve'yiratecha, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Adonai ahavti mehon, mehon beitecha, Umekom mishkan kvodecha, mishkan kvodecha, va'ani eshtachave ve'echa, evrecha livnei Adonai osi, Adonai osi, ma tovu. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon, Elohim bechov chasdecha, Elohim bechov chasdecha, aneni be'emet ishecha. Ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom and welcome to all of you. How wonderful are your tents, how beautiful your homes, O Jacob. This is a wonderful Shabbat. It's Shabbat Atzmaut, the Shabbat that followed Yom HaAtzmaut, the Israeli Independence Day. So it is a joyful celebration on Shabbat. And this evening, we have our Emunah class with us. So thank you to all of you that you will lead us and join us in prayer this evening. We invite now David to lead us in the Kiddush and your whole family on a special occasion, and we will reveal the secret of that celebration after you lead us in the Kiddush. Please don't forget to unmute yourself.
There we are. Let's do that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishonu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halik neder shel Shabbat. Amen. Let's do. Where are we? Okay. Right. There we are. By Erev, Vayivoka Yom HaShishi. Vayichulam Sha'aretz V'Halsa V'Am. V'Heliom HaShvi Melata Asher Asa. V'Shbo B'Yom HaShvi Mikom Melata Asher Asa. V'Heliom HaShvi V'Kadesh Ota. Kivod Shabbat Mikom Melata. Asher Bara Elohim Asa. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Borei Peri HaGofen. Amen. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Kiddushanu Mitzvotav V'Tzava'anu. V'Shabbat Kadsha B'Ratzanim Hilanu. Zikaran L'Maseh Bereshit. Ki Yom Tilamrei Kodesh. Ze'Yom Mitzrayim. Kivana B'Ha'ata. V'Yatani Kiddush Kamei Hal Hamin. V'Shabbat Kadsha B'Ratzanim Hilanu. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Into the colors. Here we are. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. Amen.
Have a little bite.
Sorry? All right, okay. Yes, there were.
Doggy is waiting.
Oh, yes, there were. So there weren't, Jiffy. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And now the secret is that this young man will in 2 days celebrate a special birthday, the 50th. So this is a milestone. And I'm sure that your whole family will celebrate you. I see half of the decoration is already up, so perhaps some more balloons and whatever. And then
Yes.
you can have will in 2 days celebrate a special birthday, the 50th. So this is a milestone. And I'm sure that your whole family. So good. So Mazal Tov, and we will save you from singing for you, but on Sunday we will all call you and sing individually.
And now we're going to.
Please, yes.
And now we're going to begin our Erev Shabbat service with 2 readings. The first one by Ayla on page 494, and the second one by Joel on page 495. And after that, the Rabbi and Chaim will lead us in the songs for welcoming Shabbat and the Psalms for welcoming Shabbat. And then we'll come together with the children for the Shema section of the service. So, Ayla.
We have crossed a threshold. Outside is the world with its rhythms and cadences, commonplaces and disruptions, pressures and concerns. We carry them with us into this building, our place of worship, but hope to see them here in a different light. As we shed our outer garments, some part of that outer world recedes. New and familiar faces greets us, other possibilities of sharing and learning. These moments are important for what is to follow. Are we greeted or left alone? Who conducts us or accompanies us through the next open door? Are we welcome here or a stranger, or one who welcomes others? Who is at home in this place and who is a guest? Who guards it and who invites? We cross another threshold from the entrance into the sanctuary. We are carried along by each other's energy. Tales briefly told, greetings and glances exchanged. We find our place, familiar or unfamiliar, and wrap ourselves in the stillness we will need for the outer and inner journey before us. Almost unnoticed and without words, our prayer has begun.
Now, Joel, the verses of song, which later we will hear from the Rabbi and Chaim.
We enter the sanctuary alone. We are joined by others, but are not yet a community. We look around for those we know As we ease our way into the service, we discover our voices, recognize melodies, familiar and unfamiliar sounds. We begin to focus together on what lies ahead. Songs open channels to those about us. Praise of God in all this diversity is the unifying theme. Through words with or without music, or music with or without words, we make a first tentative sharing with one another. We discover again familiar and feel our way into the language and routine. Discover again and the forms, traditional and new, and that will sustain us on the journey ahead. Just still as individuals, still tentative, we prepare for the encounter before us with good together.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we thought that we start the singing for this Shabbat service with some happy tunes that also reflect very nicely the different aspects of the land of Israel or the people who came into the land. So we have Yom Zeh Israel, a Kabbalistic composition which reflects one type of Jews who lived in the north of Israel in the Galil. And then the next song is a Sephardic tune, and then we go back to a psalm of the time of the Bible. So we try to reflect not only the different communities in Israel, but also the different times. So the first one is on page 102 and is Yom Zeh L'Yisrael.
Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha. Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat Menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat Menucha.
צבית פיקודים במאמציני, שבת ומועדים לשמור בכל שנה, לערוך לפני משד ואחורה, שבת, שבת מנוחה, מנוחה, שבת, שבת מנוחה, יום זה.
יום זה לישראל, אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה. יום זה לישראל, אורה ושמחה, שבת, שבת מנוחה, מנוחה, שבת, שבת מנוחה.
חמדת בהלבנות לאומה שבורה לנפשות נחרבות נשמה יתרה לנפש מצרה יעשיה הנחה שבת שבת מנוחה מנוחה
שבת שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה אורה ושמחה שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה שבת שבת מנוחה שבת שבת מנוחה.
קידשת ברכת אותו מכל ימים בששת כלית מלאכת עולמים בו מצאו עגומים השק וביתך שבת שבת מנוחה מנוחה
שבת שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה אורה ושמחה שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה שבת שבת מנוחה שבת שבת מנוחה.
Now please turn to page 106.
מפיאל מפיאל יבורך כל ישראל מפיאל מפיאל יבורך כל ישראל.
אין אדיר כאדוני ואין ברוך כבן עמרם אין גדולה כתורה ואין דורשיה כישראל.
מפיאל מפיאל יבורך כל ישראל מפיאל מפיאל יבורך כל ישראל.
אין הדור כאדוני ואין ותיק כבן עמרם אין זכה כתורה ואין חכמיה כישראל.
מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל.
אין טהור כאדוני ואין יחיד כבן עמרם, אין כבירה כתורה ואין לומדיה כישראל.
מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל.
אין מלך כאדוני ואין נביא כבן עמרם, אין סגולה כתורה ואין עוסקיה כישראל.
מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל.
אין פודה כאדוני ואין צדיק כבן עמרם, אין קדושה כתורה ואין רוממיה כישראל.
מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל.
אין קדוש כאדוני ואין רבי כבן עמרם, אין שמירה כתורה ואין תומכיה כישראל.
מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל. מפיאל, מפיאל, יבורך כל ישראל.
Have a little look on page 112, and there we have the first 4 lines that we will sing together. It is Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, sing to the eternal a new song. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz,
שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בזרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בזרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
And we now make a big jump to page 121 for Lecha Dodi.
לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לה 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 לך
לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי הם מקור הברכה, וראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לה לה לה.
לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נקלע. לך לך לך
דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
And we, in the synagogue, we would now rise and we would turn to the open door where we would welcome a queen coming into the sanctuary, the Shabbat queen called Shekhinah, from the word inclination or really presence. And by that, we hope that also now in our living rooms, in all your homes, you will now feel that God's presence is there, that Shabbat has arrived in your homes, and that we all will have this wonderful feeling of menucha, of peace, of something relaxed after a crazy week. So now we welcome the bride by singing Bo'i b'shalom, come in with peace. Bo'i b'shalom ateret ba'alha, gam besimcha uvetzolha, toch emunei am segulha. Bo'i chala la 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 la, lecha lecha dodi,
לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now, as the bride is here, as the queen of Shabbat is with us, so let's sing how wonderful it is to give thanks to the Eternal. On page 124.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינו. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
And this is the conclusion of Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of Shabbat. And we will turn now to the Baruchu, which you can find in your Sidurim on page 127. And there it's really that we're now give everyone just a short notice. Please be aware, the service starts now really in full. Have all your kavanah, so your direction in prayer with you, and turn to bless the Eternal. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
And now I'm going to ask Libby to read the first blessing before the Shema, the creator of the universe, on page 128.
Blessed are you, our God and Creator, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening twilight, who opens the gates of dawn with wisdom and with foresight makes time pass and season change. Your plan sets the stars in their courses in the sky, creating day and night, turning light into darkness and darkness into light. You make the day fade away and bring on the night, separating day and night. You are the ruler of hosts of heaven. Blessed are you, God, who brings on the evening twilight.
And now, Reuben, please, the second blessing before the Shema. On page 129.
With everlasting love have you loved your people, the family of Israel, teaching and practice duty and justice. These you have taught us. Therefore, our God and guide, we think upon all this before we sleep and when we wake, and rejoice and delight in your teachings and its practice forever and ever. For they are our life and the measures of our days. We keep them in mind both day and night. Never take your love away from us. Blessed are you, you God, who loves your people Israel.
And on page 130. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. And together, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol vavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al vavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. And we'll read page 132 and some of 134 in silence to ourselves. And the last paragraph on page 134. Let's read this together. Lema'an tiskru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And the top of 135. All this is true and firmly held by us, that you are our living God and no other exists, and that we are Israel, your people. You perform great deeds beyond research, too wonderful to tell. Your children saw your power, praised and thanked your name, and willingly accepted your rule over them. With great joy, Moses and Miriam and the children of Israel answered you in song, all of them saying, Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, neda ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele. Ruby?
Our living God, your children saw your rule over the sea of reeds. All of them as one honored you as sovereign, saying,
Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
And it is prophesied, for the Almighty has set Jacob free and rescued him from a hand stronger than his own. Blessed are you, God, who rescues Israel.
Abby? Abby, on page 136.
Oh, 136. I'm reading page 140.
And this as well, please, Abby.
Oh, okay. Source of our life and our sovereign, cause us to lie down in peace and rise again to enjoy life. Spread over us the covering of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel and leave us for the sake of your name. Be a shield about us, turning away every enemy, disease, violence, hunger, and sorrow. Remove the temptation that awaits us and the guilt that lies behind us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are a God who guards and protects us, a ruler of mercy and compassion. Guard us when we go out and when we come in, to enjoy life and peace both now and forever, and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, God, spreading the shelter of your peace over us, your people Israel, and all over the world.
Thank you. And Max and Chloe on page 137, Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדור תמרית עולם. בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תמרית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תמרית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תמרית עולם.
And now we're turning to the Amidah, a chain of blessings. And we're going to be directing our hearts with Kavanah. And the first blessing is going to be read by Abby.
Adonai sefata tiftachu fi agita hilatecha. Adonai sefata tiftachu fi agita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'Elohei imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim Konech HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imachot, Umaveh Goel Livnei V'Nechem Lama'an Shemo Ba'achava. Melech Ozer Umoshi Omagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Poked Sarah.
Libby, page 142.
Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mahaye Metim Atah Rav Lochoshia. Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Hayim Behesed, V'chayim Meitim Barachamim Rabim, Somech Noflin, V'rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Kayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Mi Hamocha Baal Gevurot, Umi Domech Lach, Melech Memit, Chayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lahachayot meitim. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hameitim.
Amen. Reuben. Top of page 143.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalaluha. Selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Top of page 144, the first paragraph, Daniel.
אתה קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך. תכלית מעשה שמיים וארץ. וברכתו מכל הימים, וקידשתו מכל הזמנים, והן כתוב בתורתך.
Chloe. Second paragraph on 144.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי לקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, רצנה ומנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, שים חלקנו בתורתך, שבענו מטובך, שמח נפשנו בישועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה כל ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. רובי.
Say Adonai Eloheinu, Ba'amcha Yisrael, B'litfilatam she'e, Uvrachamecha harabim, Tachpot banu, V'tashre shechinatcha al Zion. V'techezechna einenu b'shuvcha lazion. Barachamim, Baruch Ata Adonai, Hamachazeh, Shechinato Lezion.
Eila.
מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואלוהי אבותינו, לעולם ועד. צורנו צור חיינו, ומגן אישנו אתה הוא. לדור ודור נודה לך, ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו חמסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו פקודות, ועל ניסיך ובכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלאותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר, צהריים הטוב כי לא חלו רחמך, המרחים כי לא תמו חסדיך, כי מעולם קיווינו לך.
And Joel, page 148.
ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא תמיד שמך מלכנו לעולם ועד. וכל החיים יודוך סלח והללו וברכו את שמך הגדול באמת. האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלח, ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות.
Max. And Chloe?
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lehol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lehol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarer et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
And I'm now going to hand over to the rabbi to sing Oseh Shalom and give a sermon.
Thank you very much. First, I want to give you all a short moment to get one idea from the parts we just read, just back into your minds, and just think 1 or 2 seconds about that. Because one of the important things that Rachel mentioned in the beginning, the word kavanah, it really comes from the Hebrew word kivun, to direct oneself. And this is quite difficult when we're all in the Zoom setting and we need to reflect on what we're going to read. And it's very difficult to have that moment of peace, inner peace, and to really direct our prayers. So have a short moment of silence, and you can close your eyes and just think about 1 or 2 words that are still in your mind. And then we will sing together, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol ha'olam. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol ha'olam. Hu yaseh shalom, hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu yaseh shalom, hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
ve'al kol ha'olam imaru. Amen. So we have an interesting Torah portion we're going to read tomorrow. It's a double portion where we learn a lot about an ancient disease, and it is not so easy to translate it to a modernity besides thinking of COVID, but I don't want to do that in this moment really, but I want to reflect about one idea the rabbis have for us, how we can understand this Torah portion. So usually when today people get sick, they assume that it is because of germs or virus, COVID, or just bad luck. Even when people get sick as a direct result of something they might have done, so like smoking cigarettes, we would usually not bring those underlying reasons up as part of the conversation. That is not very polite and actually very cruel and unnecessary. But in times of the Torah, in ancient times when people got sick, they often thought that it was because of something they had done. They thought that it is, or that it was a direct punishment for a sin, for a moral sin. Knowing that, it is therefore not surprising to learn that the ancient sages, the rabbis, response to why people got afflicted with what the Torah calls tzara'at, so this skin disease. So they took the word for someone who is afflicted with tzara'at, metzora, and turned it into a pun. They said that metzora is the person who is motzira, someone who says bad things about other people. And you all know the word motzi from the blessing for bread when we say motzi lechem min haaretz, who brings out the the bread from the earth. So motzira is to bring something negative, something bad, something evil out of nothing. So you could say that motzira is a gossip. In Hebrew, there are actually numerous words for this kind of sin. For example, lashon hara, the evil tongue, or rechilut, tail-bearing. And for Jews, it is actually a big deal. When you look in your high holiday machzorim, the high holiday prayer books, the one prayer, Ashamnu, Bagadnu, and so on, refers to sins of the mouth. For the sin we have committed against God by gossip, by tale-bearing, by mocking, by scoffing, and by falsehood, and by needlessly judging other people. So lashon hara means saying anything bad about anyone, even and especially if it is true. Lashon hara means insult, ridicule, and jest, and denigrating someone's possession or work or merchandise. It means something, or it means commenting on someone's body, mind, money, or medical history, saying anything that might cause another person harm, embarrassment, or displeasure. Did you hear what he did? Did you hear what he said or what she said? And I heard that actually he, boom, 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 boom. And I really shouldn't say, but do you know? And so therefore we can learn, or that is what the rabbis are teaching us, that language or saying something is very powerful. It has actually, according to our tradition, the power of life and death, of creating or destroying. Remember that in the Torah, right in the beginning, God creates the world through language. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And Rabbi Judah Löw of the 16th century Prague was the creator of the golem. What is perhaps you can understand it as the Jewish Frankenstein. And the golem protected the Jews from their enemies. But Rabbi Löw taught, consider the Hebrew word for language, which is lashon. The first letter is the lamed, and the lamed points upwards to remind us that language can bring us to heaven in prayer. But the last letter, the final nun, points downward to remind us that language can sink us into the abyss. Gossip does not exist in verbal form only. It exists in social media, where it can spread even faster than a biblical contagious disease. Before I conclude with another or concluding idea, I just want also to reassure you, when you are victims of bullying, if someone is really not only harassing, but really hurting you through words or through postings on social media, please never forget that you can always turn to your parents or to your teachers, to Rachel, to anyone of the synagogue, or to me, and we're there to help you. So never feel ashamed when something happens to you. We are here for you, to help you and to safeguard you and to make sure that this is not continuing. So my last reminder, please, whenever you hear gossip about someone, turn the conversation around to another thing. Just say, let's talk about something else. Gossip may not cause you to get a skin disease as we have it in the biblical times, but it can do plenty of damage and it is contagious. Shabbat Shalom. And our next little step before we will have the Aleinu, I just want to remind us that we are on a journey and that we actually count every day the Omer. And my question to all of you, do you know where we are in our journey? When was Pesach? Can you remember how many weeks and days ago? Anyone the idea? You can just unmute your guns very quickly and just shout the number.
Three weeks, we think.
Nearly. Max, do you have an idea?
25, 26.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Short, but remember, Pesach was on the weekend, on Saturday evening, but actually we started counting from Sunday evening, so it is 20 days. So tomorrow evening we have the 3 weeks full. So therefore we count the 20th day of the Omer time. And if you have your Masurim still somewhere, you can look on page 678, but you don't need to, because I will just read it to you together with Chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom 20 yom shehem shnei shavuot shisha yamim la'omer. Today is the 20th day. This is exactly 2 weeks and 6 days in our Omer journey. And with this, Rachel, shall I turn to the Aleinu?
Yes, please turn to the first paragraph of the Aleinu, and then we're going to ask Daniel Weitzman to read the second paragraph on page 313.
Good. So I start on page 310. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום השבותה, אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינות.
Daniel.
Therefore, Almighty God, we put our hope in you. Soon, let us witness the glory of your power, when the worship of material things shall pass away from the earth, and prejudice and superstition shall at last be cut off. When the world will be set right by the rule of God, and all humanity shall speak out in your name, and all the wicked of the earth shall turn to you. Then all who inhabit this world shall meet in understanding, and shall know that we are all partners in the repairing of your world. But yours alone is the true kingdom, and only the glory of your rule endures forever. So it is written in your Torah, the Eternal shall rule forever and ever. So it is prophesied, the Eternal shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, the Eternal shall be one, known as one.
Amen. On this Shabbat, as our week's work is ended, the school week, the work in our offices, and we enjoy a brief time of rest, we think of those whose lives is done and have gone to their eternal rest. We think especially now of those who died at this time in years past. We face the mystery of life and death and eternal life. We put our trust in God, whom we have never trusted enough. Harachaman, may we inherit a day that shall be holy as Shabbat and rest in life everlasting. On this holy Shabbat, we remember those who recently passed away. Ze'ev Aram, husband of Liz, father of Debbie, Karen, Daniel, and the late Ruth. And Berta Pudikomb, mother of Moshe Gardner. And we join the Queen and the nation in mourning the passing of His Royal Highness Prince Philip. The yahrzeits for this week are as follows. Daniel Glynn, father of Everett Krolik. Sophie Cates, mother of Peter Cates. Carl Fisher, father of Paul Fisher. Ellen Ismay, mother of Kim Ismay. Sylvia Wise, mother of Neil Wise. Anthony Warren Collins, son of Bernard Collins. Stefan Demuth, father of Walter Demuth. Andrew Kirk, father of Daniel Kirk. Edwin Rogers, father of Shoshana Foster. Sol Rose, father of Candida Silverstone. Arthur Lottery, father of Patricia Lottery. Bernard Springer, brother of Valerie Edward. Estella Hill, mother of Judith Friedman. Rachel Nathan, mother of Elizabeth Eisen. And we have Jackie Ruby, father of David Ruby, and Betty Bell, mother of Vivian Spivak, and Lily Spivak, mother of Ed Spivak. And because we're also remembered in the past week all the fallen soldiers and the victims of terror in the land of Israel, in Medinat Yisrael, we include in our thoughts, of course, all those who have no one to say for them Kaddish on this holy Shabbat. If you can turn please to page 316, then we can read together the Kaddish. Yit kadal vit kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divrach yichoteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'alam u'l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei dekudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirchata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alama v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'momav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'akol ha'olam v'imru amen. May all the mourners be comforted through our community strength. Just as a quick announcement before we conclude the service with Adon Olam, which you can find on page 320, next week on Saturday, we are actually celebrating a bat mitzvah. Is that right, Rachel?
We are celebrating the bat mitzvah. And shall I say who it is?
Oh, well,
it's Ruby. Where are you, Ruby? Yeah, it's Ruby next week. We're all looking forward to it. Mazal tov, Ruby.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all happy that you opened for us the bat mitzvah season. Also, and it's especially to all of you, the teenagers, we have on Thursday, we show a movie. So we have a talk about being German and Jewish, or Jewish in Germany. And it is a movie about young people, how they see their journey as Jews in Germany. It's about Russian Jews, so it has a different flavor. And it's a very hip movie. It's very cool. You need to register on Zoom. It's not on YouTube because we can't show the full movie on YouTube. It's not long. The movie is less than half an hour. And then we have also the filmmaker with us who can answer you all the questions. And Arkady, that's his name, was one of my madrichim in the time I was with Netzer in Germany. He is a very cool guy. So if you want to learn a little bit about how it is to be a Jew in Germany, and in a very funny movie, not always very easy, but really, really good. So please join. It's worth watching. It is on Thursday evening. The link has been sent to the community, but we will send it once again so that you all can register.
And just before you say that, I forgot to say that Ruby and her family were leading the Kiddush on the Friday evening.
Absolutely.
So you can come and share that as well.
And we want to see all of you, of course, next Saturday in the service.
Oh, you will.
To really cheer Ruby in her special journey, as we will through the whole year with all of you. You did a brilliant service. Your reading was excellent, and I really, really enjoyed leading the service together with Rachel and you all this evening. So, page 320, Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra let nasa k'efzo kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam v'hu haya v'hu hoveh והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא עת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני להמשלו להכבירה אדון עולם בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העש והמזרע אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא עת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי ביום צרה אדון עולם והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא עת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי בית אישן ועירה אדון עולם ועם רוחי גבייתי אדון לי ולא ירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא עת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. שבת שלום. שבת שלום.
שבת שלום.
שבת, 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 שבת,
שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום.